So tonight is all about the Nissan. Shane will be over shortly, and we want to get the brakes and clutch sorted, plus test fit the new wheels that just arrived, and I guess anything else we get time for. Before I get started with the walk around, I thought I'd update you on the FD. So as you know, I sold that to Wayne a couple of weeks ago, who's a friend, and a car that he was really looking forward to owning. He managed to get a warrant, because of course I sold it to him with no warrant or rego. But unfortunately, just over a week ago, the car got stolen. It got stolen outside his mate's house, and it was only there for a very, very short amount of time, so the people that stole it really knew what they were doing, and chances are it's long gone. But if you see anything or hear anything, obviously give us a bell, drop us a line. As time goes on, it's getting less and less likely to show up. So yeah, real shame, but here's hoping. So for those that have only recently subscribed, you probably wouldn't have seen or heard from this at all, but it's a car I've had for a wee while. It's a New Zealand new 180 SX, so they're badged as 200 SXs or 240 SX if you're from the States. And it came with a 1.8 CA18 engine, turbocharged from factory 5-speed LSD, and I got it was bone stock. Since then it's gone through a few changes through iterations of change, but as it currently stands now, it's powered by an RB25. Gearbox is a big box out of a RB25, I think a R33 turbo, so it's the RB25 DET big box. Last time I used this car was for a final round of Super Lap a couple of years ago. It then sat in my garage for a few months in Auckland, at which point the clutch stopped working, so I bought new hydraulics for that. I couldn't get them bled in time to move down to Wellington. The new hydraulics, the new clutch hydraulics are in, so clutch master, line and clutch slave, however dry to this day. Since sitting in storage with Jason, the brakes have stopped working, so they pedal feel goes straight to the floor. Not quite sure if I want to spend too much time on the brakes, given I've got an upgrade in the works. So I've got some GTR brakes front and rear to go on. At the moment I've still got the ugly single pot S13 rears. So I'm going to go to back to a drum handbrake and two piston calipers, which look a bit nicer as well as perform a bit better, obviously. So joined by the lovely Shane again tonight. Lovely. It is tonight. Yes, you are lovely. Right, wheels. So we got the last set of 17-inch work Emotion D9Rs. I think I got that right, from North Shore Toyota. So cheers Renee for the hookups. These apparently are discontinued in 17-inch. So the reason I got the 17s was that the Rays, or the T37s, were just too wide. I would have had to go wide body, and I don't have time for that right now. So stock body S13 is the plan. And these, I didn't really have a choice on the finish, but it was my favourite finish for these anyway. These are bronze. Oh yes, very nice. So these are the rears. I'll just chuck these on the car quickly. These are one of my favourite work wheels, so I was quite lucky to be able to get these. So fitment wise, we have on the rears, these are 17 by 9.5 plus 17. So with no spacer, we're sitting pretty good. Tyre wise, I'll be running a semi-slick on these, so they'll be a bit more chunky than kind of the traditional street tyre would, so not quite sure what final height's going to look like, but that's pretty good. The only wheels he had that would fit the front were 8.5 plus 32, so that means I had to retain my 15mm spacer, which is hidden away in there somewhere. and the wheels I had on here previously were 9 inches, so I've gone down a size, gained some clearance between the wheel and coilover, so I've got maybe 20 mils gap there now, and again that probably needs to tuck in a little bit. I mean, it's going to camber out when it gets put down. However, the recess behind these wheels isn't big enough to allow the shortened studs to clear, so I'm either going to have to shave those down or go to a 20 mil spacer to get these to fit, which means I'll stick out a little bit more again. So yeah, new parts. Cheers, Renee. Alright, and on to more interesting things. So we've got a self-bleeding kit here that...
Try and make it work.
Yeah, what I was thinking of doing is maybe getting underneath the car, disconnecting the line from the slave, and then just pump and suck. Yeah, because it does flow. In fact, here's my attempt in Auckland of trying to get it to flow.
Cut to the footage.
So this light is pretty cool. It has the added bonus of being practical and looking amazing at the same time. So I'm going to use this to light my way under the car because my garage lights suck. So the technique I had when I was doing it was I would lie down under the car with one arm reached up into the clutch pedal and the other arm on the
underside
on the slave. Yeah. Fun times. So as you can see, I have a nice shiny new slave cylinder and nice shiny braided hose feeding it. That line goes up to the master, and that's it. There's nothing else in the middle, so it's really simple and it should flow nicely. So I'm just going to disconnect that now from the slave and do what Andrew did with the RX3 and give her a suck, mate. Are you blowing bubbles? You're blowing bubbles, aren't you? So something I just noticed while under here, exhaust. I've got this nice Fujitsu extractors feeding a 3-inch exhaust system. Now the tip sticks out quite a bit, and I just thought it was because I was a hot boy when I got the exhaust built by DKM, but no, it turns out my flexi pipe here is now a stretchy. How about that? So it's obviously caught on something and gone, yoink, let's create another 3 inches of exhaust tip poke. Awesome. What's that, an extra 3 inches?
Yep.
No, it's definitely not a 10. It's bigger.
Your 10 won't go on either.
No, it's bigger than a 10.
Ah.
It's 11.
Why would it be 11?
Because it's probably a Chinese product. I thought it was genuine JDM-ness, which it's got Japan written on the side of the slave here.
Japan is where we exported all this.
Oh, hang on, I've got to loosen it by hand.
Of course you can.
Because I obviously didn't do it up. Just like my wheel nuts.
I know that feeling. So does Paul Kaczynski.
Alright, so this is as dry as a... Oh, it's dripping. Oh, I don't want to get my gob on that. Alright, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we have drippage. It's no doubt out of focus, but trust me, we're dripping, so we just need to... I don't know what we need to do. Why isn't it flowing? So as this is already dripping, I'm not going to put my lips on it. As much as I wanted to, it will just taste no good. Alright. I think I'll set up a time lapse while we do this because it's not the most interesting thing in the world. Enjoy our struggles. Alright, we finally managed to make a breakthrough. Bleeding from the bottom didn't really yield many results, so tried from the top and she pressurised right up. So I think I'll just put more fluid in before we start on the bottom.
Oh yes, sorry, I just wanted to pump so I can see the sleeve move if it's moving. So look, put it on there where the bubbles are going through the line.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty. I know, still some more bubs.
Ready? Pumping. Now.
Yeah, that's full extension.
I don't think we need to do anything there, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either.
Cool, so there we go. All good. We have a clutch with pressure. Who knew it was that easy? Well, I think since this is going to be a race car and all, I need to get a steering wheel extension, just by an inch or so, because I've got my seat quite far back, which is good for pedal position, but my knee or my leg still touches a wheel, so I just need to bring it back a little bit to get away from my leg. Awesome. Sorry about the darkness, it is night time and my garage lights are shit, as I've already mentioned, but that is a win. You know what I get to do now?
Skids.
Which I haven't done in a while.
Skids.
Skids, yes, but the next best thing.
Ooh.
Lead clutch.
Jealous.
And here's a sneak peek of what else I'm going to do in the next 6 months. I want to get a R200 subframe in here and upgrade my LSD to something with higher gears, either a 4.6 or 4.9. I need to source a seal kit for the GTR brakes. We cracked those open. I need to learn that it was missing a seal, like the O-ring was just missing completely. I was going to swap the rear studs, but I don't need to anymore. I'm not running any spacers in the rear, so that can go. Source and install the flexi. Not important, but we'll do that. Bleed the brakes. We might be able to do that now. Yep. Get the GTR brakes on once I've got the seal kit sorted. And that's pretty much it for the short term. The easy way out of this is to shave this nut here back so that it's flush with the spacer, but then that doesn't give me much leverage to take these off if they ever need to come off again one day. I don't think there's too much of an issue with the wheel poke, given that this is probably the final fitment if I were to do a 20mm spacer, because they're currently sticking out by an extra 5. Yeah, maybe it's more like 2 or 3 mils.
A little bit more than freelance for them, if that makes sense.
I think he's going to be the Wellington photo guy. Yep. So we're just talking about Claire, who got a cover, not a cover, who got a feature in the latest performance car magazine. So well done Claire and Jason, that was a cool achievement. And good old Danny doing the photos. So I think that means, from my conversation I had with Danny, that yes, he was going to be doing more and more Wellington based car photography for when they needed it.
Cool. Very cool.
Alright, so what we've done with the front, just to validate the theory, we've managed to find some 5mm spanners and chuck those over the spanners. Oh, it's not even late. We found some 5mm washers, which we put on to space out from the nuts. So there was a 4.5mm protrusion, a 4.5mm pokey outy bit from the spacer to the nut, the end of the nut. So we've spaced it out by 5mm and confirmed, yes, that works well. Oh, thank you, there you go. Yeah, so
it will work well with a 20mm spacer, yes.
Pretty much is what we've accomplished. So there's a nice recess there which covers that. However, that bit there was catching. So yeah, 20mm spacer and we should be good. In terms of pokey outiness of wheel, it's good, it's fine. It's pretty much where it was with the RPF ones, to be honest. But I'm hoping to be able to get in a bit more camber, yeah. So this will be in more, and if needed, you can roll those guards further. So that's a win. Wheels, bronze and red. Yeah, obviously not the best colour combination, but let's remedy that as soon as we can.
It's been a few years since I sat in this car.
Yeah, it feels tighter than I remembered it, especially after sitting in the FD's seats.
Exactly. These, I think they shrunk.
Yeah, or we just got fatter, which is more likely.
Shrunk.
You heard that? So yeah, not major milestone, but a milestone nonetheless. So pretty stoked.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's good, eh? It's nice and firm. And the clutch pedal's not too bad either. Alright, so last quick job for the night, hopefully quick, is to bleed the brakes. So we'll give that a crack. See if we can do it with just the vacuum kit. That fluid did look pretty nasty, eh?
It's pretty grim.
Considering it's
floating, but that's alright.
yeah, considering it's supposed to look like that urine colour over there.
Like asparagus in the morning.
It's pretty aged. Probably due for a change anyway. Alright, so let's get cracking.
Disgustable. Okay, I think some of these bubbles are from the hose, but I am pumping some through to get some colour out of it, you know what I mean?
Yep. So, looks like we're about to lose battery, so I'm just going to pop this on charge while we finish bleeding the brakes, and we'll catch up with you shortly. Cool, so through the magic of this little device, brakes are all bled without me needing to sit in the car, and what do you know, we've got two pedals that are nice and firm that were once straight to the floor. All that nasty brown gunky fluid's gone. It was overdue a change and it has been sitting around for a while. I think I actually need to do the same for the engine oil and coolant, but for now that's enough to be able to road test it. So I think I'll leave it there. A few more things to do, a few things off the list, so it's a good win for tonight. Felt good to work on the old car again, so you can expect to see more of this on the channel. Not going to forget about the FC though, that's still a very relevant part of it too, and might have an update for you in the next few days, maybe a few weeks. Still going through the parts sourcing phase and just trying to figure out where we get the parts from and whatnot. But yeah, update you on that one shortly hopefully. Cheers for tuning in again, and we'll catch you next time.